All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Lalema Aneja Dang, and with me is Prashant Kumar Sinha. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with beneficiaries and stakeholders of Atmanirbhar Bharat Swaympurna Goa program at 11 a.m. today. Home Minister Amit Shah to arrive in Srinagar this morning on a 3-day visit to Jammu and Kashmir. India's COVID vaccination coverage crosses 101 crore 30 lakh mark. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to share his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat program at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Textile Ministry issues notification for setting up 7 PM Mitra parks aimed at positioning India strongly on the global textile map. US expresses serious concern over continued erosion of human rights and fundamental freedoms in Hong Kong. And in men's T20 Cricket World Cup, Super 12 group matches begin today. As India created history by administering 100 crore doses of vaccine against COVID-19, All India Radio salutes all the doctors, nurses, other frontline workers and all those who got vaccinated and made this possible. Even though the country has achieved this feat, we caution our listeners that the battle against COVID is not yet over. We appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and also help others get vaccinated. During the festival season, please follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with beneficiaries and stakeholders of Atmanirbhar Bharat Swaympurna Goa program at 11 a.m. today via video conferencing. The interaction will be followed by his address on the occasion. The initiative of Swaympurna Goa, launched on the 1st of October 2020, was inspired by the clarion call given by the Prime Minister for Atmanirbhar Bharat. Under this program, a state government officer is appointed as Swaympurna Mitra. The Mitra visits a designated panchayat or a municipality, interacts with people, coordinates with multiple government departments, and ensures that various government schemes and benefits are available to the eligible beneficiaries. Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant will be present on the occasion. We spoke to Goa Industry Minister Vishwajit Rane about the scheme.
हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी उनके मार्गदर्शन के नीचे आत्मनिर्भर भारत का जो कार्यक्रम चलाया गया, इतने बड़े पैमाने पे जो कार्यक्रम चलाया गया, कौन से भी देश में ऐसे कार्यक्रम चलाया नहीं गया था। उनके इंस्पिरेशन लेके गोवा में इंडस्ट्रीज के हर लेवल पे जो लोकली हम प्रमोट करते हैं, उनको भी एक एक्सपोर्ट का प्लेटफॉर्म देने का हमने प्रयास किया है। हमने देश के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के उनके इंस्पिरेशन के लेके इधर गोवा में अलग अलग तरीके से इंडस्ट्रीज को प्रोत्साहन और एमएसएमई को अलग तरीके से प्रोत्साहन देने का हमने प्रयास किया है। आज जो कार्यक्रम होने जा रहा है, मुझे लगता है कि और मार्गदर्शन प्रधानमंत्री जी से हमें मिलेगा। गोवा एक अलग स्थान पे सबसे बड़े एक्सपोर्टर बन चुका है।
Home Minister Amit Shah will arrive in Srinagar this morning on a 3-day visit to Jammu and Kashmir. Mr. Shah is scheduled to review the security situation at a meeting of the Unified Command in Srinagar today. The Home Minister will also flag off the Srinagar-Sharjah direct flight this evening. Tomorrow, Mr. Shah will visit Jammu, where he is expected to address a public meeting and interact with Panchayat members and BJP workers. This will be his first visit to J&K after the abrogation of Article 370 on the 5th of August of 2019. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed the 101.3 crore mark. Out of the total vaccinations, more than 71.4 crore vaccination doses have been given as the first dose, while around 30 crore doses have been administered as second dose. The Union Health Ministry said more than 68,35,000 vaccine doses were administered yesterday.
has lauded the remarkable feat of the country of administering 100 crore vaccine doses. He said 100 crore vaccinations are not just a figure, but a reflection of the strength of the country. Mr. Modi was addressing the nation yesterday on achieving the milestone of 100 crore vaccine doses. The Prime Minister said it is a matter of pride for everyone that the entire vaccination program of India has been science-born, science-driven and science-based. Mr. Modi said, despite reaching the 1 billion landmark, India's fight against COVID-19 is still not over. Requesting all to celebrate the upcoming festivals with utmost caution, the Prime Minister said everyone has to ensure COVID-appropriate behavior, wear masks and ensure social distancing.
मेरा आग्रह है कि हमें अपने त्योहारों को पूरी सतर्कता के साथ ही मनाना है और जहां तक मास्क का सवाल है मेरा इतना ही कहना है जैसे हमें जूते पहन करके ही बाहर जाने की आदत लग गई है ना बस वैसे ही मास्क को भी एक सहज स्वभाव बनाना ही हो जिनको अभी तक वैक्सीन नहीं लगी है वो इसे सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता दें जिन्हें वैक्सीन लग गई है वो दूसरों को प्रेरित करें मुझे पूरा भरोसा है कि हम सब मिलकर प्रयास करेंगे तो कोरोना को और जल्द हरा पाएंगे
Mr. Modi said, despite the pandemic, the government has introduced projects like Central Vista and PM Gati Shakti to boost India's economic growth. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people in the country and abroad in his Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio at 11 a.m. tomorrow. It will be the 82nd episode of the monthly radio program. The program will be broadcast on the entire network of AIR and Doordarshan, AIR News website and News on AIR mobile app. It will also be streamed live on the YouTube channels of AIR News, DD News, PMO and Information and Broadcasting Ministry. AIR will broadcast the program in regional languages immediately after the Hindi broadcast. The regional language versions will also be repeated at 8 p.m.
The Textiles Ministry has issued notification for setting up of 7 PM Mitra Parks. The scheme is aimed at realizing the vision of Prime Minister Narendra Modi of building an Atmanirbhar Bharat and to position India strongly on the global textiles map. PM Mitra is inspired by the 5F vision of the Prime Minister. The 5F formula encompasses farm to fiber, fiber to factory, factory to fashion, and fashion to foreign. This integrated vision will help furthering the growth of the textile sector in the economy. The scheme is to develop integrated large-scale and modern industrial infrastructure facility for entire value chain of the textile industry. It will reduce logistics costs and improve competitiveness of the Indian textile sector. The scheme will help India in attracting investments, boosting employment generation, and position itself strongly in the global textile market. These parks are envisaged to be located at sites which have inherent strength for textile industry to flourish and have necessary linkages to succeed. The 7 PM Mega Integrated Textile Region and Apparel PM Mitra Parks will be set up at greenfield or brownfield sites located in different willing states. Our correspondent reports PM Mitra Park will be developed by a special purpose vehicle which will be owned by state and the central governments in a public-private partnership PPP mode. The master developer will not only develop the industrial park but will also maintain it during the concession period. The notification is available on the Textile Ministry's website http://texmin.nic.in.
Union Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas Hardeep Singh Puri has said that the cost of energy should not be allowed to outstrip the paying capacity of consuming nations. He said this imperative needs to be configured by the consuming countries in planning their production profiles for future. Mr. Puri stated this during his closing remarks at India Energy Forum Sera Week. He said, unless the prices of crude oil are maintained at sustainable levels, it will severely impact the green shoots of global economic recovery. The World Bank had stated that the surge in energy prices poses significant near-term risks to global inflation and, if sustained, could also weigh on growth in energy importing countries. The minister added that the Indian oil and gas industry has made significant strides in recent years and a number of reforms have been introduced to meet national energy needs. He said the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas is focused on increasing exploration in India to reduce import dependency. He said currently in India, only 6 out of the 26 sedimentary basins have been explored and the government is looking for international partners to participate in the exploration journey of India. He also invited the global industry and experts to become partners in India's shared prosperity by enhancing the country's production of all forms of energy. The minister said the government is working to promote low-carbon pathways through biofuels and increase ethanol blending to 20% by 2025.
Union Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Bhupender Yadav, has said that India and the UK have agreed to strengthen climate initiatives and to further their green partnership. Mr. Yadav held a bilateral meeting with UK Foreign Minister Elizabeth Truss in New Delhi yesterday. The UK will host the 26th Conference of Parties, COP26, to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC, in Glasgow from the 31st of this month to the 12th of November.
Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha inaugurated the Jashn-e-Zafran, harvesting saffron in presence of Union Minister of State for Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare, Kailash Chaudhary, yesterday. Speaking on the occasion, Lieutenant Governor said it is due to the farmer-centric policies of the central government that the income of the saffron farmers in Jammu and Kashmir has doubled in 2021, a year before the deadline. He said the recent data of the National Statistical Survey shows that after Meghalaya, Punjab, Haryana and Arunachal Pradesh, the farmers of Jammu and Kashmir have the highest monthly income of 918 rupees, way above the national average of 10,218 rupees. The Lieutenant Governor expressed his heartfelt gratitude to Prime Minister Narendra Modi for systematically improving the entire chain from farm to retail marketing, bringing a huge change in the lives of farmers from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. He noted that in 2016, Prime Minister had started a revolutionary change in agriculture and horticulture, and because of various interventions by the Prime Minister, today the income of Jammu and Kashmir farmers is at the 5th position in the whole country and 46% higher than the national average.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with beneficiaries and stakeholders of Atmanirbhar Bharat Swayambhurna Goa program at 11 a.m. today. Home Minister Amit Shah to arrive in Srinagar this morning on a 3-day visit to Jammu and Kashmir. India's COVID vaccination coverage crosses 101 crore 30 lakh mark. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to share his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat program at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Textile Ministry issues notification for setting up 7 PM Mitra Parks aimed at positioning India strongly on global textile map. US expresses serious concerns over continued erosion of human rights and fundamental freedoms in Hong Kong. And in Men's T20 Cricket World Cup Super 12 group matches begin today. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alert.
India handed over 34.9-kilometer long cross-border rail link connecting Jayanagar in Bihar to Kurtha in Nepal to the Nepalese government. The handing over ceremony took place yesterday in the presence of Nepal Minister for Physical Infrastructure and Transport, Renu Kumari Yadav, and Indian Ambassador to Nepal, Vinay M. Quatra. The Jayanagar-Kurtha section is part of the 68.7-kilometer Jayanagar-Bijalpura-Bardidas rail link built under the Government of India's Grant Assistance Program. Under the Grant Assistance of India, the gauge conversion of 34.9-kilometer narrow gauge from Jayanagar in India to Kurtha in Nepal has now been completed. According to the railway sources, once operationalized, the cross-border rail link is expected to enhance trade and commerce activities as well as people-to-people linkage between the two countries. The U.S. has expressed serious concern over what it described as the continued erosion of human rights and fundamental freedoms in Hong Kong. A statement by the U.S. State Department noted the increase in politically motivated prosecutions through the national security law. It called upon Beijing and Hong Kong authorities to release those unjustly detained and cease their crackdown on peaceful civil society organizations. It urged Beijing to abide by its treaty obligations in the Sino-British Joint Declaration. Group of 7 nations agreed on principles to govern cross-border data use and digital trade. Trade ministers from the G7 reached the agreement at a meeting in London yesterday. Britain described it as a breakthrough that could liberalize hundreds of billions of dollars of international commerce. In a statement, Britain said, "We have adopted the G7 digital trade principles that will guide the G7's approach to digital trade." G7 comprises the US, Japan, Germany, Britain, France, Italy and Canada.
As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events is being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. India's glorious fight for freedom is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the valiant struggle every day.
On 23rd of October 1778 was born Kittur Chennamma, the Queen of Kittur.
ಕಿತ್ತೂರ ಚೆನ್ನಮ್ಮ ಹಿಡಿದರ ಖಡ್ಗ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರಿಗೆ ಹುಟ್ಟಿಸಿದ ನಡಗ ಎದುರಾಳಿನ ಎದೆಯ ಸೀಳಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಳು ಮನ್ನ ತಲವಾರ ಹಿಡಿದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರ ಯುದ್ಧ ಕಿತ್ತೂರ ಸೈನ್ಯ ಭರಿಸಿದ ಗೆದ್ದ ಕಿತ್ತೂರ ಸಂಸ್ಥಾನದ ಅಧಿಪತಿಯಾಗಿ ಆಳಿದು ಚೆನ್ನಮ್ಮ.
She was one of the female rulers who led an armed rebellion against the British East India Company in 1824.
Right from a young age, she acquired all the skills required to win a battle, including horse riding, sword fighting and archery, and became well known in no time for her bravery.
The British took over the administration of Kittur in 1824 under the Doctrine of Laos. When the Queen protested against the British occupation, the British Army attacked Kittur in 1824 with 20,000 men and 400 guns.
The intention was to confiscate her jewels and treasures worth rupees 1.5 million, making her economically weak, and then dethrone her.
Despite having a numerically inferior force, Chennamma put up a tough fight and won the first round of battle. The British Army faced massive losses, and eventually 2 British officers, Sir Walter Elliot and Mr. Stevenson, were taken as hostages, giving Chennamma an upper hand in the negotiations.
Chennamma agreed to release the hostages if the British ended the war and allowed her son to rule. Commissioner Chaplin from the East India Company took the offer, and the hostages were released.
However, in an unforeseen turnaround, the British troops launched a second round of attack. They could not take the humiliation of losing to a woman from a small village and roped in armies from Mysore and Solapur. They also convinced 2 of her soldiers to betray her by mixing cow dung and mud with the gunpowder used for cannons.
This time, she was captured and imprisoned for life at Belhungal Fort. She passed away on the 21st of February 1829. Rani Chennamma was buried in Belhungal Taluk. Her legacy and first victory are still commemorated in Kittur during the Kittur Utsav held from the 22nd to 24th of October.
On 23rd of October 1934, Mahatma Gandhi resigned from the Congress party and quit politics. He said he withdrew from active politics and even resigned his membership of the Congress because he wanted to devote himself fully to the constructive program and Harijan welfare.
He did not disagree with the party's position, but felt that if he resigned, his popularity with Indians would cease to stifle the party's membership, which actually varied, including communists, socialists, trade unionists, students, religious conservatives, and those with pro-business convictions, and that these various voices would get a chance to make themselves heard.
He had also come to believe that the leading members of the Congress party had adopted non-violence as a political means and not as a fundamental essence. In place of political activity, Gandhiji then concentrated on his constructive program of building the nation from the bottom up, educating rural India, which accounted for 85% of the population, was not an easy task.
Gandhiji continued his fight against untouchability, promoted hand spinning, weaving and other cottage industries to supplement the earnings of the underemployed peasantry. Gandhiji himself went to live at Sevagram, a village which later became the center of his program of social and economic uplift.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar, AIR News ke sang. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
A Mumbai-based lawyer has filed a criminal complaint against lyricist Javed Akhtar for his alleged remark against the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh RSS during a television interview. The complainant Santosh Dubey has alleged that Akhtar tried to defame the RSS in a calculated and well-planned move so as to discourage and misguide people. The complainant further claimed that Mr. Akhtar was very much aware that there is no similarity in thoughts, ideology, philosophy, mindsets and way of functioning of RSS and Taliban in any manner. The plea will come up for hearing on the 16th of next month before a Metropolitan Magistrate Court.
Sports news now. In the Men's T20 Cricket World Cup, Super 12 group matches will kick off today. In the first match of the Super 12 group, Australia will take on South Africa in Abu Dhabi at 3:30 p.m, while West Indies will clash with England in Dubai at 7:30 p.m. India will play their first match against Pakistan tomorrow. In yesterday's fixture, Sri Lanka thrashed Netherlands by 8 wickets in their final Group A league match at Sharjah. Earlier in the day, Namibia made history by qualifying for the T20 World Cup Super 12 stage in their very first appearance after beating Ireland by 8 wickets at Sharjah. Namibia is now the 4th team that joined India, West Indies, Australia, South Africa, Afghanistan, Pakistan, England and New Zealand for Super 12 stage. Sri Lanka, Scotland and Bangladesh have already made it to the Super 12s. All India Radio will broadcast ball-by-ball commentary of the World Cup from today. Indian Air Force IAF yesterday rescued a survivor and recovered 5 mortal remains from around 16,500 feet altitude near Lamkhaga Pass in Uttarakhand. The search operation was conducted using IAF's advanced light helicopter despite unfavorable terrain and strong wind conditions. A group of 17 trekkers, including tourists, porters and guides, had lost their way on the 18th of this month at Limkhaga Pass at an altitude of 17,000 feet due to heavy snowfall and inclement weather. Search for the remaining 2 individuals will be undertaken by the Advanced Light Helicopter crew today. And now let's take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi will have a partly cloudy sky with the possibility of very light rain or drizzle towards night. The temperature will vary between 17 and 31 degrees Celsius. Mumbai and Kolkata will have a mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature in Mumbai was 22 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is expected to be around 32 degrees. While Kolkata observed a minimum temperature of 25 degrees Celsius and a maximum of around 34 degrees. Chennai and Puducherry are expected to have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature in Chennai will vary between 26 and 34 degrees Celsius. In Puducherry, the temperature will vary between 27 and 33 degrees Celsius. Hyderabad will have a partly cloudy sky with haze. Temperature will hover between 20 and 32 degrees Celsius. Srinagar may experience rain or snow. Temperature will hover between 9 and 15 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain, and Leh is likely to witness rain or snowfall. Gilgit will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature will hover between 3 and 23 degrees Celsius, and Muzaffarabad will have a mostly cloudy sky. Minimum temperature was 12 degrees Celsius. Maximum should be around 27. And Guwahati, Shillong, Aizawl and Itanagar will have a partly cloudy sky. And now an overview of today's newspapers.
39 women said to be granted permanent commission is the Hindustan Times headline. The Supreme Court has told the centre to do so by the 1st of November. India's concerns over food security protecting fishers will be heard, says WTO Director General, is the Hindu Business Line headline. The paddy straw finds a solution finally. The ethanol plant of Indian Oil Corporation Limited, IOCL, in Panipat will utilize around 2 lakh tons of paddy straw from Karnal district, which has been seeing the highest stubble burning cases in Haryana, reports the Tribune. The Tribune reports Dr. Inder Anand, an Indian-American cardiologist, who bagged the prestigious Heart Failure Society of America's Lifetime Achievement Award. Dr. Inder Anand's father was one of the founders of the PGI Chandigarh.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with beneficiaries and stakeholders of Atmanirbhar Bharat Swaympurna Goa program at 11 a.m. today. Home Minister Amit Shah to arrive in Srinagar this morning on a 3-day visit to Jammu and Kashmir. India's COVID vaccination coverage crosses 101 crore 30 lakh mark. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to share his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat program at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Textile Ministry issues notification for setting up 7 PM Mitra parks aimed at positioning India strongly on the global textile map. US expresses serious concern over continued erosion of human rights and fundamental freedoms in Hong Kong. And in Men's T20 Cricket World Cup, Super 12 group matches begin today.
मिलकर विश्व बचाएं सबकी जिम्मेदारी ये संकट दूर भगाएं
And with that we end the morning news. Have a nice day.